doctors, they go, right, like that. And then if you don't have this, there's usually something wrong with you. So what's happening when they what are they touching? Just below the patella. They don't want to hit your patella. If you hit your patella, nothing really doesn't really happen. What do they hit? What is this right here? What tendon? What do you think that is? Ligaments. It's your quadricep ligament. Sorry, quadricep tendon. So when they hit that, what happens? You're going to contract. So what happens when they touch that, and then what they're doing is so you have like a tendon, and they're putting it in the middle, so it's lengthening, right? So you lengthen that, it pulls on the muscle, so the muscle depicts a stretch. So the muscle spindles associated with your quadriceps get a change of length, and that happens quickly, right? It's a quick change of length. If they were to hold it down, it doesn't happen, right? It doesn't happen. But if they do it quickly, you should get a response. So when it happens, so this is the pathway. So they hit this tendon, the muscle stretch. The receptors of the muscle spindles inside the quadriceps fire. They send an afferent or sensory neuron stimulus up into the spinal cord. It then actually goes out two ways. There's a motor neuron that then goes to the quadriceps saying contract. There's also an inhibitory response going to your hamstrings saying relax. So this has a dual response. The muscle spindles, and we'll talk about what this is called, it's like reciprocal inhibition. So we'll go over that. It's called reciprocal inhibition, meaning when I hit this, we get a response to contract. At the same time, we get a response to the antagonist saying relax. So that you can also do this. That's a knee-jerk reflex. This is at the spinal cord level. And if this reflex doesn't happen, they usually can slightly diagnose you with some type of neuromuscular disease. Phasic stretch reflex, this is just what it looks like on an EMG graph. This is no load. This is when somebody's dropped weights like into your biceps, and you see a strong response to contract. This is the weight placed in your elbow, dropped quickly, resulting in a strong contraction. You can see the triceps are fairly quiet. So this is going on all in your biceps when you go like this. This is a phasic. So phasic was associated with what type of the end of the muscle spindle? Remember we said we had two sensory endings in muscle spindles. One was a primary and one was a flower. This is a primary, and primaries, what was the difference? It picks up change in length, but what was the difference between the phasic and the tonic? Yes, it was the rate of change of length, right? So it's how quickly you are changing length. So phasic muscle spindle responses, or phasic stretch reflexes, are associated with a quick change in muscle length. This is the phasic response. Versus, let's look at the tonic response. This is also a reflex. What ending was associated with tonic? The tonic part of the muscle spindle? The ends of the middle, but they were called what? Flower spray endings. So they picked up change of length, not necessarily the rate of change of length, just that you're changing length. So this is a response by them when you slowly are loading something. When you slowly load a muscle, you will get some type of tonic stretch reflex. Slowly weighting the hand, causing a strong contraction. So when you slowly load something, you will also get a stronger contraction. Like if you quickly loaded something, you will also get a strong contraction. Let's look at examples of these. phasic stretch reflex. A phasic preparatory phase can take advantage of a stretch reflex. So what that means is a quick change of length. So in one phase of a motion, if you quickly change a length, you will get a strong contraction out of that muscle. You will get a stretch reflex. It's almost like a rebound that happens. There's a long, rapid preparatory phase with little or no pause, so you can't stop the motion. You can't do a quick wind-up and then stop. You won't get a reflex. You have to do a quick change of length without stopping before the power phase. Does that make sense? So there has to be no pause in this quick change of length. This results in a stronger contraction. Examples of this is like if you're going to jump, you wanted to get something high. Remember we talked about how if we do an eccentric followed by a concentric, we get stored elastic potential or stored elastic energy. We also get a stretch reflex. When you jump down and you go like this, you get a strong contraction out of all the muscles that are picking up that quick change of length. Versus if you went down and you just kind of stopped there for a minute and then you would have jumped, no stretch reflex would occur. All right? It has to happen really quickly. Quick winds up, quick wind up, quick wind up. All of these winding up phases are usually some type of stretch reflex, as long as you don't stop that phase. Now, tonic. This is for when you want accuracy. These are movements that are associated with an accuracy, like putting a golf ball. This phase, the preparatory phase, is slow, so it's not happening quickly. This little wind up that's going on in a golf swing, you kind of wind it up, and it's slow. You don't, if you're going to hit a golf ball, you don't tend to go like that, right? You kind of do it really slowly. So if you're slowly lengthening the muscle, these muscle spindles are picking up that information. You take a pause right before you do the contraction, you will get a stronger muscle contraction. That's a tonic stretch reflex. Slow and strong preparatory phase followed by a pause before you do the force phase. That will also give you a stronger contraction. Is that all right? All right. The difference between those two. GTO reflexes. Again, could be the exact opposite of this, but this is what we're going with. The reflex inhibits impulses from the motor neuron to the muscle, causing the muscle to relax and the antagonist to contract. So if you have a barbell in your hand and the weight is getting too much for you, the GTOs is picking up that tension and that force that's going into it. It feels like it could rupture or get damaged. It sends information up into the spinal cord, down a motor neuron, sending an inhibitory response to your agonist, your biceps, and a facilitatory response to your antagonist, your triceps, so that you do this and you drop it. It's a protective mechanism. Feedback mechanism to control tension. Tension also meaning force. This is what it looks like. Nice picture. Huge weight going into the biceps. GTOs are located at the myotendinous junction. They send a response in. Inhibitory, out. Biceps, stop contracting. And then you drop it. You drop it. All right, tonic neck reflexes. Now these are fun. All right, asymmetrical TNR, tonic neck reflexes. Tonic neck reflexes are associated with the proprioceptors in your neck. When you turn your head, if you have access to a baby, this is what you can do to them. So you need like a newborn baby. not one that has a lot of muscle control, so you need fairly new. You take that baby and you take its head and you just rotate it to the right, their arms will go like this. They will. They do. It's thrilling. It's thrilling. So when you turn your head to the right, the chin side, so the right arm, wants to abduct and extend. And the opposite side, my left side, wants to flex and adduct. So we'll go like this. And then if you turn their head to the left, we'll do the exact opposite. We'll go like this. And you can see that when you see them. If they don't have a lot of head control and you facilitate their head upright and you turn it, they'll just go like this. It's really quite amazing. You can YouTube some of these videos too. Of these. So vice versa. So depending on which way you turn your head, that's where it goes. This is called an asymmetrical because this is rotation and the arms don't have a symmetry response versus a symmetrical T and R.